Welcome to the Glenn Mercer Show. You could find us across all your favorite podcast platforms. You could find us on YouTube, and please remember to subscribe. And you could find us at realmeneatplants.com. This show is brought to you by First Seed Foods, healthy, organic Indian food without the butter, oil, or ghee. I love Indian food, but I don't like going to Indian restaurants and getting all that oil and having to worry about the ghee. So this comes delivered to your door. Uh, Use coupon code GLEN10 for $10 off your first order at firstseedfoods.com. My guest today is Dr. Aajay Shah, who has been board certified in cardiology for 30 years and in lifestyle medicine for 5 years. He practices in Michigan. Dr. Aajay Shah, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn.
And tell me, Dr. Aajay, you weren't healthy for all 30 years that you were practicing cardiology, were you?
Not at all. Matter of fact, I was a living example of what a doctor should not be. I was 195 pounds. My BMI was 34. I was pre-diabetic. I had a high cholesterol. I had a high blood pressure, and everything changed in October of 2016.
What happened in October of 2016?
My A1C came back 5.9, and which is a measure of diabetes. And I realized that I never want to be a diabetic, never want to go on insulin. So I changed my lifestyle pretty much overnight. I became vegan. I became plant-based. I became whole food plant-based, no oil, no dairy, and things haven't been better since then.
Wow. Now, you say you became vegan overnight. Surely you had heard some information about the vegan diet sooner. Were you just kind of putting it off and you got scared with your A1C results? Or why that day? Why overnight?
Because I think I must say that physicians don't get that much training about nutrition in our medical school, in our residency, or in our fellowship. But when I became part of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine in 2016, I realized that vegan diet, whole food, plant-based vegan diet is the best diet for health and longevity. And I have set a goal of living 110. And to achieve that goal, being whole food, plant-based vegan, in my opinion, is a mandatory thing. If you remember the 7-day Adventist trials and results, the vegan had the lowest BMI, vegan had the lowest incidence of diabetes, and vegan had the lowest incidence of cancer. So once I start to come across the data about whole food plant-based diet, I start to get more and more convinced that that's the only way I want to live my life now on forward.
Right. Now, did you say your goal is to live to 110?
110, yes.
Yeah. See, now my first career, Dr. AJ, was as a playwright,
Wow.
and I still write plays, but I have to try to beat you there. I have to try to live to 140 because
Wow.
I'm going to have to be 140 before they'll finally put one of my plays on Broadway. So I'm shooting for 140. I don't think I'll get there by 110. Now, um, when you were obese and when your blood markers were not good, um, were you thinking about making any changes? Were you just not worried about it until your A1C levels came in? What were you thinking while you were overweight?
See, I think most physicians are so busy with their career that many of them ignore their own health, which, in my opinion, happens with a lot of the people. And that's what I think, in my opinion, is absolutely wrong. Health should be our number one priority, no matter how old you are, whether you are 10 years old, 20 years old, 50-year-old, or 100-year-old. Health should be our number one priority. And I got so busy with career, I got so busy making money, I got so busy taking care of the family that I ignored my own health. But that all stopped in 2016. And since then, to be honest with you, my health has a complete turnaround. I lost now 65 pounds. My A1C is 5.2 now. My cholesterol is perfect. I'm off all blood pressure medications. My blood pressure runs now 110 over 80. I can run now. I can lift now. I've ran one marathon. I've ran 3 half marathon, and I just feel so great now. And I do yoga. I do pranayama, which is a breathing exercise, and I can be happier ever than before now.
Yeah, that's a wonderful story. Now, do you have patients who knew you when you were overweight and they're still your patients now and they ask you, "What did you do, doc?"
Yeah, I think many of my patients, when they come to see me after the change, if they haven't seen me for a few years, they almost don't recognize me. And they all want to know how they can do it. And many of them, now I have a YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel has a lot of videos on weight loss, on longevity, on happiness, on diabetes. And they all want those videos, and many of them have achieved similar kind of results what I have achieved. So I think teamwork is very important. I take my patients as my family members, and I make a team with them and take them on the same ride what I've been going on for last 9 years. So many of my patients are thrilled to go on the same ride with me together over next 50 years.
Hmm. Now, we'll put a link to your YouTube channel in the show notes. What is the name of your YouTube channel?
Healthy Living with Dr. Aajay Shah.
Okay. And how often do you post videos on it?
I haven't posted for a few months now, but I post average about once a week, twice
Hmm.
a month.
Okay. And do you go to the lifestyle medicine conferences?
I haven't gone for 2 years, but yes, I do. I go there at least every few years.
Uh-huh. It's really a whole different way of practicing medicine, isn't it? The way
For
you used
sure.
to and the way you practice now.
For sure, I think we have realized the power of lifestyle changes. And power of lifestyle changes, in my opinion, is more powerful than any medication, any surgery, or any procedure. Lifestyle medicine can put the diabetes into remission. It can reverse the blood pressure completely. Even it can help to prevent many cancers. So I think lifestyle medicine is the future of medicine. And American College of Lifestyle Medicine is gradually getting more and more stronger, and a lot of doctors are now becoming part of it. And many of my colleagues at the hospital where I practice are becoming part of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. But the progress, in my opinion, is still slightly slow. And person like you, person like myself can help to speed up that progress. There are so many influencers who are proponent of keto diet, paleo diet, and they have such a great power in terms of their presence on social media that a lot of the people, a lot of the patients get mesmerized by their talk, and they go on a wrong path. And we need to change that. We need to make a movement along with a person like you where we become stronger voice in whole food plant-based diet, whole food plant-based no oil diet, and lifestyle changes.
Yeah. Dr. Michael Clapper and I have a new book coming out called Moving Medicine Forward, and we talk about the paleo stuff and the keto stuff. And I just don't understand how anyone could imagine that eating meat all day long makes you healthy. You would think that
Yeah.
the evidence is in by now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think, I think we need more social media influencers. I think books are important, videos are important, but we need more movement on social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, or Instagram. And I think if we join hands together, we definitely can speed up the process of informing people that what is the power of lifestyle medicine.
Now, when a patient comes to your office, let's say obese with very high cholesterol and high LDL cholesterol and perhaps type 2 diabetes, um, do you find yourself saying, and maybe getting some angina, do you find yourself saying, well, either you can go on statins or have an angioplasty, or you can have brown rice and broccoli? Do you present them with this choice of pharmaceutical drugs, medical interventions, or food?
I think some patients, unfortunately, have progressed so much that they do need intervention. But as soon as the intervention is over, the goal should be to get on the lifestyle medicine. There are some patients who are into early stage of their disease where we can stop the progression, reverse the process, and pretty much avoid statin and angioplasty and stents and bypass surgery. If you recall, Din Ornish trial, which was almost 40 years ago, proved that just by simple lifestyle changes, not just you can stop the progression, but actually you can reverse the coronary disease. So I think
Yeah.
many of my patients who are into early stage, I pretty much try to convince them that let's make aggressive lifestyle changes. And many of them actually end up getting so much successful results that they not just thank me, but they also start living a very happy and healthy life.
Now, when you made this profound change in 2016, did other members of your family or friends change along with you?
My wife changes also. She's also whole food plant based. At home, we don't have any processed food. We don't have any dairy. My wife loves Indian tea, and she used to have dairy, cow's milk in her Indian tea, and
Yeah,
now she has soy milk. And she actually, whenever any guest comes to her house, she uses the soy milk, and guests don't even realize the difference between the cow milk and the soy milk. So I
that's
think
right.
once you make the change, once you adapt your taste buds, I think there is no better than whole food plant based or soy milk or oat
Right,
milk or almond milk.
right. Well, that's why the sponsor of my show is First Seed Foods, because I love Indian food. But when you go to Indian restaurants, you get all that oily food often that, the spices are delicious, but I can't take the taste of oil in my mouth at this point. And the other thing is that, of course, it's not good for my heart.
Yep.
So, do you find the same thing? I'm guessing you like Indian food.
I like Indian food, and Indian restaurants are nice, but I agree with you. They have so much oil, there's so much simple white flour, there's so much paneer which is out of the dairy that I think, in my opinion, if you can have access to a healthy Indian ready-made meals, then I think that's the way to go. Or
Yes.
one can just cook at home with
Yeah.
all the healthy ingredients.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of cooking yourself?
I don't do that much cooking, but my wife is great cook. She can make
Uh-huh.
probably thousands of dishes out of different ingredients. And I'm fortunate that every day I get to eat very healthy, whole food, plant based Indian food, including a lot of different beans and lentils
Yeah.
and legumes and and brown rice and quinoa and oat groats and vegetables and fruits and nuts and seeds and
Yeah.
smoothies.
Oh, you're a lucky man.
Yep.
Now, Brenda Davis, the nutritionist, says that people need more protein as they get older. So she recommends a good helpings of lentils and beans and tempeh and tofu. Do you agree? As you get older, you need more of those
I
foods?
I agree. I think average probably person needs about zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.7 gram per pound after age 60. So, for example, I am 140 pounds, so I need about 70 to 75 grams of protein per day. And only way to get if you're whole food plant based is if you eat nuts, beans, legumes, lentils, and bean pastas.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same weight, and I do eat some nuts, but I try not to eat too many of them because there's high cholesterol in my family. I'll tell you how I got my cholesterol under control. But if I eat too many nuts, I find that my cholesterol goes up. Is that a relationship you see in your work?
Yes, yes. Actually, according to Dr. Axelstein, the nuts are definitely one of the culprits for high cholesterol. But
Yeah.
if you look at Dr. Furman, nuts are important. So I think
Mm.
just like small amount of walnuts is
Yeah.
adequate without raising the cholesterol.
Yeah. In my case, um, in my family, there was a lot of heart disease. That's what turned me into a vegetarian at the age of 17. And then I took too long to become a vegan. I was in my 30s. But my cholesterol would go up even if I had, when I first got married, my wife cooked with olive oil. My cholesterol went over 200, even on a vegan diet.
Yeah.
So it's very sensitive. And what I've discovered in recent years is that I can lower it. It took me many years to get it this low, but at my last checkup, my serum cholesterol was 140.
Wow.
And I got my LDL down as low as I've gotten it, which is 84, I think. But it was often around 100. Um, and I found that the key for me was fructose,
Yep.
that I was having too many ripe bananas and too many dates. And
Yep.
I think the fructose had an effect on my liver that it produced more cholesterol.
Yep.
But that raises an interesting question, which is this. Let's say that my cholesterol, I ate a lot of bananas and a lot of dates, and my cholesterol went up to 200, and my LDL went up to 100 or 105. Is that really as worrisome as somebody who eats burgers and has the same numbers? In other words, it's not oxidized cholesterol when I'm eating bananas. Uh,
Yeah,
it's
I think I agree with you. I think when people are plant-based and when their cholesterol is slightly high, many times it's a non-oxidized LDL. And
right,
that has a much less kind of concerning effects on the arteries of the body than when people eat the burgers and red meat and chicken and fish. So I
right.
agree with you. I think one of my friends has a LDL of 120 and she
Wow.
leaves her LDL right there at 120 because her calcium score is zero.
Uh-huh.
And she thinks that 120 being a whole food plant-based no oil person is a safe to live it on. So I think your LDL of 84 is excellent, but even if it's up to 100 on a whole food plant-based no oil diet, it would be safe.
Okay, that's good to hear. That reassures me, but I've been coming to that same conclusion because I just find it hard to believe that anyone's going to get a heart attack because of bananas.
Yep.
It's just,
Yep.
it's a little hard to believe. Um, now, there's also a lot of talk about ApoB, apolipo
Apolipoprotein.
apolipoprotein B,
Yep.
which is apparently a highly atherogenic particle.
Yep.
Tell us about ApoB and should we have it measured and should we worry about it?
ApoB is very interesting. Whenever we look at your blood, there are LDL, there are triglycerides, there is IDL, and there is a VLDL. And all of them carry ApoB particle. ApoB is a protein, ApoB protein. And whenever you measure ApoB, it gives you a direct measurement of all the atherogenic potential in the blood. But in my opinion, ApoB is slightly over measured because if you look at the cholesterol, if you take the total cholesterol and subtract the HDL out of it, whatever is remaining is called non-HDL cholesterol. And non-HDL cholesterol is a direct proxy of ApoB. So if you don't want to spend 80 or $90 in ApoB measurement, then you can just take the cholesterol, which every person and every doctor orders it once or twice a year, and take the total cholesterol, subtract the HDL, and you get the non-HDL cholesterol, and that's a direct proxy of ApoB particle. So I think
Okay.
ApoB is good to measure, but if you don't want to go to that extent, then just measure the non-HDL cholesterol.
Okay. So what you're saying is that ApoB is important, but you don't necessarily need to do a special test for it. You could just do it by subtracting HDL from total serum cholesterol.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I do because I think people have already a high cost of insurance, of
Right.
medications, and I think I don't want to add any more costs if I can get the similar results just by subtracting the HDL.
Yeah. And subtracting isn't too hard to do.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Um, so, do you feel that the diet, in a sense, trumps the cholesterol numbers? If you're on a whole food plant-based diet, or what I like to call a whole plant food diet, um, you're you don't need to worry as much about your numbers.
I agree. I think whole food, plant-based, no oil diet is so protective, that cholesterol, even if it's slightly high, will be all right. I think plus it will bring your blood pressure down, it will bring your weight down, it will it will reverse the fatty liver. I think there are so many side benefits of whole food
Right.
plant-based because when you develop atherosclerosis, it's just not the cholesterol. It has a many other contributing factors, including high blood pressure. And when you go on a whole food plant-based diet, the weight start coming down, you become ideal BMI, and then all the factors which promote the atherosclerosis start to change and start to improve.
Yeah. Um, I heard you interviewed by Chef AJ some years
Yes,
ago.
yes.
And you said an interesting thing. You said that, um, I think this is where I heard it, that when you began practicing medicine this new way with an emphasis on food, and inviting your patients to join us in this lifestyle of eating whole plant foods, um, that your patients became your friends more, that it was more interesting to work as a doctor this way, whereas it had been boring to just give out prescriptions. Talk about
I
that.
I think writing medicine takes literally 3 seconds, and it does not start any kind of conversation. I think like it's so boring to write Lipitor. There is no meaningful talk, there is no interaction, there is no friendly conversation. When you talk about their food and their diet, you essentially get into their own world, their own lifestyle, and then it brings up all different type of topics within the visit. And whenever I talk about diet and nutrition, we invariably talk about exercise and sleep and relationship and alcohol. So diet essentially is a segue into the all 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. So it starts with diet, and then it jumps into the all friendly conversation about all the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine.
Now, what is the effect of alcohol? Let's say somebody has a glass of wine every evening. How does that affect the heart and how does that affect the cholesterol?
So I think alcohol in the past used to be considered a good for heart, but now we know that alcohol, even a one glass of wine once or twice a week, increases your risk of cancer. Particularly in women, breast cancer risk goes so high that I don't recommend alcohol anymore. I haven't had any drop of alcohol for last 4 years, and I'm so happy about it. And now I tell all my friends, all my patients, all my family members, zero alcohol is the best policy. Do you drink
Okay.
alcohol, Glenn?
I do not. I do
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I think that's the
Like I
best
say,
part.
I'm not going to have a play on Broadway till I'm 140.
Yep. You'll
So,
be 140. You'll be
yeah,
140. Yep.
I have to shoot for that.
Yep.
Those theater producers are just so darn hard to reach,
Yep.
you know? So I may be 100, 110 before they even read one of my plays, you know? Um, so, and how does the alcohol affect cholesterol?
Alcohol can raise your HDL, but
Mhm.
again, that effect is not worth it compared to the risk you take on the cancer.
On the
Plus,
cancer side.
alcohol is a 7 calories per gram, so it's a very big caloric load. Plus,
Right,
alcohol affects the liver, alcohol affects the brain, alcohol affects your driving ability. So I think alcohol definitely is no longer considered a healthy choice.
right. Well, let's hope the French are listening.
Yep, yep.
Um, so, are there any specific foods? I'll tell you what I've been using, and I can't swear that this helped me, but I think it did. In before my last checkup, when I got my cholesterol down to the lowest ever, 140, I started adding something called moringa powder to my oatmeal, a green powder that has the reputation of being a superfood. And then I got my best results ever. Do you believe in any superfoods like moringa powder or any particular fruits or other foods or spices?
We use moringa powder in our smoothie also. So I
Okay.
agree. Moringa powder definitely has a lot of the benefits on cholesterol, antioxidant, and many other, including even on A1C. So moringa powder is a superfood. Other superfood is berries, algae-based omega-3, walnuts. Even I start to recommend people taking creatine too now. I take creatine every single day, 5 gram. It has a significant benefit on muscle recovery, muscle strength, and even it has a benefit on dementia and brain function. So creatine is, in my opinion, a superfood.
So that's a supplement that you take.
It's a supplement. I take it as a supplement.
Now, I'm sure you take B12
I take B12, I take vitamin D. Yep.
and you take D. I take B12 and D.
Yep.
I've never taken creatine, so that's one I'll have to look into. Where do they source that from?
It's an animal-based source. Yeah.
Oh, well, then I couldn't take that.
I think, in my opinion, Glenn, I think health is such a holistic approach that we have to bend certain rules to live 140. And creatine is worth bending one micro rule.
Okay. Well, I won't argue with you, but I'm still not going to take it.
Okay.
um, it's good to have you on the side of the vegans, even with that little difference on the creatine.
Yeah.
Um, so I know you get a lot of exercise. You've run marathons. Um, is there a particular exercise routine that you think is particularly good for the heart?
Walking is the best exercise. It's a low impact. It doesn't wear out your knees compared to running.
Yeah.
And walking gives you adequate caloric burn. Walking keeps your thighs strong. Walking carries your weight. Walking has a good spine posture. So, walking is the best exercise. At the same time, some kind of weight lifting is also critical, like 30 minutes 3 times a week. And some kind of flexibility like yoga or Tai Chi is also very important. Also, some balance training is important because as we get older, fall becomes a real risk. And after one simple fall, if someone breaks their hip, the chances of dying within 1 year goes so significantly high that all the falls should be prevented. So again, walking, lifting 30 minutes 3 times a week, some flexibility training, and some balance training.
Okay. Now, am I right that with all your patients now who come to you for some degree of heart ailments, you discuss diet? Is that correct?
For sure, yep.
Yeah. And so what do you find? Do you find that most of them are very open to the message? Do you find that some of them say, Doc, I love my burgers. I love my hot dogs. You're never going to change me. Do you find some recalcitrant patients?
Yes, I do. But I think, whenever that kind of thing happens, I just spend 3 more minutes giving them the data, explaining them the honest trial, showing them my picture before and after. And once they see the results, once I discuss the data with them, they're more open to it. But I agree with you. I think some of them are slow converters, and it takes 2 3 visits to convince them. And many times I refer them to my YouTube videos, and once they watch the videos, they start to get more understanding and they start to become more open about it. But I agree with you. I think, like I said, there are so many influencers who are proponent of paleo and keto that a lot of these patients and people get the wrong information, and those influencers are so sexy and so convincing and so powerful on the social media that it takes a lot of efforts to change their mind, but
Yeah.
it's worth taking the time to convince them.
Yeah, well, bless you for doing that. Let me ask you a question just to get a general idea. Let's say out of 100 patients who come to you, and you speak to all of them about diet, you show them the evidence, you show them your own transformation. Out of every 100 patients who come to you as meat eaters and dairy eaters and overweight, eating the standard American diet, how many shift and either become vegan and go whole food plant based, or at least move more towards a plant based diet? And how many out of 100 go the wrong direction and go paleo and keto and that way?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, my feeling is I would say about 20 or 100 change and become whole food plant based, but 80 I still have hard time. And
Really?
whenever I talk to my colleagues and other cardiologists who are also into lifestyle medicine, their numbers are also same. So we have a large work cut out for us. But I'm optimistic that it will change over time because people start to see the results, people start to see the benefits, people start to see the data, and more people are coming in our camp. But I agree. I think right now it's a minority.
So it's about a 20% success rate.
Yep, yep.
Hmm.
And that's after giving them a lot of coaching and a lot of efforts. And like I said, the other influencers are so powerful and so convincing that I think it's going to require a large movement, person like you, myself, and we all need to start becoming more vocal on social media.
Um, you mentioned several times that the influencers on the other side, but it's not only the influencers, it's the whole culture.
Whole culture.
People go to Thanksgiving, they want their turkey. They go to July 4th barbecues, they want to be part of the crowd and have hot dogs and hamburgers. I think people view us as nonconformists, as people who stand outside of mainstream society, and they want to be part of mainstream society. And we're challenging their worldview.
I agree. I think I'm seeing the change happening, and I'm optimistic that in next 20 years there will be much more big crowd who will be following whole food, plant-based, no oil diet. And I think in my opinion, if I can convert one patient, I've done my life some good. So I take one person at a time. I don't worry about the whole world. I worry about one patient who is in front of me in my office, in my room, and just see if I can change that one person. And once I keep doing that, the number keep growing.
Okay. Now, do you work in a practice with a number of other cardiologists?
There are 36 cardiologists.
36 cardiologists.
Yep.
And of the 36, how many like you eat correctly?
Not many, not many. I would say less than five.
Less than five.
Yeah.
So you've got 31, 32 cardiologists eating the standard American diet, and you got four or five eating a healthy, whole foods, plant-based diet. Is there some friction between you?
Um, I think, see, if we become the living example and living role model, then there will be a better following happening. And I think I I am very productive. I'm very fresh. I never get tired. I'm more energetic. I jump up and down when I need to see a patient. And when they see
You
my,
jump up and down when you need to see a patient?
yep, I'm so energetic that they see the energy from the whole food, plant based, no oil diet, no sluggishness, no tiredness, tons of energy that they start to feel like, how can we be the same way? And I tell them that it's your diet which is making you tired, which is making you sluggish, which is making you exhausted, because diet has an influence on our mood, on our sleep, on our energy. Now, it's just not the disease, it's our day-to-day life which gets affected by the food, by the antioxidants in the food, by the phytochemicals, by all the ingredients of the food makes how our day goes.
And yet you have colleagues, some 30 of them, I'm guessing some of them obese, some of them overweight,
Yes.
who are eating the standard American diet. And they don't see that they're doing something wrong?
I think uh, I think everybody needs a wake up call, and I think see, unfortunately, you cannot change people until an event happens. And I'm hoping that their event will be a soft event like mine was, which was just an A1C instead of a heart attack,
Right,
stroke, or
right.
some other major catastrophe. So I'm hoping that all my colleagues will change with a soft event in their life.
Yeah. Do you talk to them about how much your results have improved with your patients who have adopted this diet?
Yes, I do. I
And
do.
and what do they say? Because I'll give you an example. I'm not a doctor, and I have told friends. I have a young friend, for example, in his 30s, and at the age of 33, with his high cholesterol, I think it was 260 or something like that, his doctor suggested that he go on statins. And I said to him, don't listen to your doctor. Just listen to me. Stop eating animals and stop eating any dairy, any animal foods, any dairy. Eat whole plant foods and test your cholesterol in a month. And he listened to me. He went vegan overnight, and a month later, his cholesterol was down 70 points. And he went back to his doctor, and I'll bet you could guess what his doctor said. His doctor said, I don't know what you've been doing, but keep doing it. Looks good to me. There's no intellectual curiosity at all.
Yeah, I think, see, doctors, in my opinion, are so much sold onto medications, procedures, and just like any other American, doctors are also looking for a quick fix. And like I said, it takes 1 second to write a statin. It takes 10 minutes to talk about whole food plant based. And
Yeah,
doctors are so overworked, they're so busy that they don't have time to talk about whole food plant based. But in my opinion, if doctors have some way, like right now, what I do, Glenn, I talk to them for 3 or 4 minutes and I take their cell number and I take the cell number to my office and I text them my YouTube video on whole food plant based and tell them to watch it at their convenience. The video is about 20 minutes long and I asked them after a few days, did you watch the video? If they watch the video, there will be a major change in how they think. So it saves me time. So in my opinion, all the doctors should have their own video on whole food plant-based diet and just text that video to the patients and
yeah,
you will save so much time during the office visit because many times I don't have time to talk 20 minutes, but it
right,
takes me 5 seconds to text them the video.
right. But of course, 30 of your colleagues aren't even on board with the message yet.
Yeah, no, no.
And I just, I find myself astonished by it. When they've seen your change, so many of them, I'm sure, knew you when you were obese,
Yep.
and they saw you change. And I'm sure they've spoken to you and learned how you've begun to help your patients by talking about diet. And they still have no interest in doing the same themselves. They still don't see that what you're doing is superior to what they're doing.
I think it's changing. I think more and more cardiologists, more and more physicians are getting more open about it. But the progress or the change is still slow. And I think, like I said, whatever change I can make, I will keep trying. And you are trying, I'm trying, Chef Asia is trying, Dr. Dean Ornish is trying, Furman is trying, Clapper is trying, Gregor is trying. You know, all the leaders are giving their best shot at changing the people mind. But we
Right.
still need more movement, more stronger movement to keep this progress on a larger scale.
Yeah. But I think we need a kind of intervention with cardiologists.
Yes, I agree.
I think, if they're in the business of dealing with heart disease, I mean, do they make any intellectual argument to you in favor of eating meat and eggs?
No, I think many times their argument is that it requires so much effort to change people, it's not worth it. But to me, there are ways of changing people in a interaction, short interaction without spending too much time. But like I
Yeah.
said, doctors are so busy. There is a shortage of doctors. They get 15 minutes to see a patient. Out of that, 10 minutes goes into their acute care problems, and it leaves only 5 minutes to talk about lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that it doesn't take that much effort to eat correctly. Heck, people can just go to First Seed Foods and get healthy food delivered to them. Um, it doesn't take that much effort to eat correctly. It takes a lot of effort to go to the July 4th picnic and say, I'm not having a burger with you. I think it takes a lot of effort to go to the Thanksgiving dinner and say, no, I'm not having the turkey. I think it's people afraid of becoming a nonconformist. And uh, most people just never went through life as a nonconformist, and they don't want to start now.
Yeah, I think we need leaders. We need from top down, including our government, including insurance companies, including a lot of the thought leaders to
Yeah,
start this movement. I think
yeah,
if the government gets involved with whole food plant-based, right now there are so many subsidies for animal farming, so much
yeah,
subsidies for oil, so much subsidies for high fructose corn syrup that it's almost difficult to change what until the government changes, until the insurance company. See, insurance companies right now don't pay for a long lifestyle visit. They will pay
right.
for $1,000 for GLP-1 agonist, but they will not pay $40 for a lifestyle visit. So
Yeah,
they
they'll
are
pay
so
for a
short.
heart bypass.
Right. They pay 65,000 for heart bypass,
Yeah,
but they will not pay for a lifestyle visit. So I
yeah,
think that has to change. And unfortunately, it's going to require a lot of death, a lot of change in our lifespan. America is like 41st in terms of longevity among all
yeah,
developed countries. It's
yeah,
kind of sad. We spend three times more than Japan, and they are still number one in the world in terms of longevity.
yeah. No, our health record is pretty abysmal.
Abysmal, yep.
Yeah. Um, have you seen in your practice any movement with your fellow cardiologists in your direction?
Yes, yes. I think there are more converters now. I think they are
Good.
starting to open their eyes, see the benefits, see the results, and see that this can be done much easier way if they come out with some kind of a tricky plan. And I think, see, fortunately, there are so many YouTube videos available now that just it takes a simple 5-second instruction to watch a video either by Chef AJ or by Dr. Michael Clapper or by Dr. Joe Furman, or Dr. Neil Bernard. It just takes 5 seconds to refer a video, and at their convenience, they can watch that video and can get so much information. So I think
Yeah.
we should take advantage of social media, YouTube videos, the conversation you and I have today, and kind of make it easier for doctors and for patients.
All right. Well, Dr. Ajay Shah, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, and keep up the good work. Keep fighting the good fight there in Michigan to get those Michiganders healthier.
Yep.
And people can find your YouTube channel at Healthy Living.
With
I'm sorry,
Dr. Ajay Shah.
Healthy Living with Dr. Ajay Shah.
Yep.
So thanks so much for joining me today,
Yep. Thank you so much.
and we'll see you soon. Take
See you
care.
soon. Thank you so much. Thank you.